trapping you with words, with circumstances, with situation, with spilled milk. Everybody say spilled milk. Water on the ground. Water on the ground. You know, brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The worst trick the enemy can do to you is raise up a lot of reasons why you should fulfill your purpose. And I want to share this with you, and I hope you wrap your arm around. I hope you wrap your heart around this. I hope you can wrap your heart around this, because that's the enemy's job. The enemy's job is stop you. Listen, you got a purpose to fulfill. Now, if you remember the book of 1 Samuel, 3rd chapter, go read it on your own. God arranged for Samuel to live with a man named Eli. Eli wasn't all that great of a person. But there was a purpose that Eli had and a purpose that Samuel had. Now, Samuel, and I'm glad he did not. I'm glad he did not look at Eli's kids and say, why am I here? What can he tell me? He can't tell them nothing. He would have aborted his purpose. You can I talk to somebody? Listen, if Greg drinks sour milk, it ain't gonna make me throw up. Are you listening to me? You can't allow what other folk do and how other folk act and how things happen. The weather, whether it's sunny or whether it's cold, whether it's warm or it's all season, it doesn't matter. You must maintain your purpose. If not, this thing will frustrate you, it will defeat you, it will baffle you, it will nullify you, and it will disappoint or deceive you. You'll get to the point where that thing start working on how you think and how you dream, what you believe and what you hope. My. I was watching a documentary yesterday. I didn't mean to watch it. I didn't mean to watch it at all. But it was talking about how, I can't even remember the name of the documentary. I just know they showed these two men. And these two men had one of them had up here, had some breast plants put in. One of them was born with an undistinguishable sex. So he went on and got the full thing. And then he got something up here. And then he got married and forgot to tell the man that he was a he that turned she. That's confusing to me. And then he did tell her, and they broke up. And then he got married again, but this time he told the he, I'm a she. I mean, I don't know what it said. But in the end, he got depressed and wanted to be back to a he again. So he got all this cut off, and he cut his hair and got worked out and got his chest built up like a man, but it's still a woman down below. You know what happened? When you get frustrated in life, you deceive yourself. The other man, he just got this part done. He said he just wanted to look like a woman up here and dress like a woman, wear a wig like a woman, and hang out with women. And so he went to a church, and it's so strange, you know. And that's what I think. This is what made me caught my eye. The guy went to a church, and I just drove by that church Thursday. In Florida. I know that. I mean, I'm familiar with the location of the church in Fort Lauderdale. I'm familiar with the preacher a little, you know. And he drove by the church. That's the church he went to, and the church, you know, talked to him about Jesus. They're talking about making him his personal savior, talking about that Jesus made you a man from the beginning, and you should embrace what God made you to be. And of course, he went with it, and the guy got all kinds of people in the congregation, I imagine, and they flipped his things back and got him flat again, and then he became a man again, and he was depressed being a man. He was depressed being a man, and he tried to commit suicide. And guess what he did to protect himself? He gets on a motorcycle and wears his hair back and grow a beard. He said, 'cause like this, looking like this on a Harley Davidson, ain't nobody gonna bother you. It gave him confidence that he had nothing to fear if he looked like a man, even though deep down inside, he still wanted to be a woman. Tick, tock, clock don't work. Clock don't work. You know, he's frustrated, not fulfilling his purpose. And when you don't fulfill your purpose, listen, when you don't fulfill your purpose and you don't know your purpose, listen to me, abuse is what? Inevitable. Come on, say abuse is inevitable when you don't fulfill your purpose. You don't know your purpose and you don't fulfill your purpose, abuse is inevitable. And there they are, abused, frustrated because of what the enemy did. He defeated, he baffled, he nullified, he disappointed, he deceived. Purpose, let me define purpose for you. Purpose is the object of which anything exists or is done or used. It's its intention. Purpose, everybody say purpose. Purpose is what you intended to do. Purpose is the use or objection of what God wanted you. Purpose is the original intention of a thing. Purpose is something to be done or accomplished. Purpose, God created you with purpose. Good Lord, have mercy, man. And let me tell you something. People cannot look at you and define what your purpose is. I'm going to blow your mind. Are y'all ready for this? Even where you come from don't tell what your purpose is. Who your mom and your daddy is don't define what your purpose is. They help mold you to get ready to receive a purpose, but they cannot define your purpose. They hope for the best. They want the greatest, but they don't define the purpose. God defined the purpose. God defined the purpose. I was just sitting here looking at you guys sitting in those seats out there. Aren't you glad that the person that designed those seats designed them so they would hold you? I believe the weight capacity is about 300 pounds. So it don't matter whether you're strong, tall and weigh 300 or short and wide and weigh 300. They are designed to hold you. And if for one reason that one chair broke down, that would mean that chair did not fulfill what? Its purpose. And then that chair would have to be what? Removed. Because it does not fulfill purpose. Purpose gives meaning to our lives. Purpose gives meaning to our lives. And if we don't have any meaning to our lives, it's because we don't have a purpose. You got brothers and sisters, in order to enjoy life to the fullest. One of the things that I learned when I was in seminary some years ago was this, the reason why your sermon is boring is because you don't have a purpose to it. If you had a purpose to it, it won't be boring. If you know what you're trying to convey, if you know what message you're trying to get across, then it's not boring. It's only boring when you don't know what you're trying to convey. The reason why praise and worship is boring is because the singers don't know why they're singing. If they understand what they're doing when they're singing, then they'll sing to the glory of God. The reason why you don't participate in praise and worship is because you don't understand that God created you to praise. If you understood that, you praise better. Everything you do with purpose. And let me tell you something. When you start living for purpose and you understand your meaning, purpose brings meaning to life, no one can cause you to abort your purpose. No one. No one. No one person takes a woman to take for example, a woman that gets married to a man, and she feel like that's her call in life is to be that man. And that man is doting and caring to her, and he does what's right by her, and he treats us the way the Bible says to treat him. And he has a fall. You cannot separate them because she understands her purpose. We saw that demonstrated in the world for us. When Hillary Clinton, when they brought all the evidence necessary to Hillary Clinton that Bill was cheating, you know what she said? Why are you guys worried about it? That's my husband. I'm supposed to be with him. She led him to the president twice. And he led her to Secretary of State and maybe even president. Purpose. Everybody say purpose. When you understand your purpose, man, life becomes meaningful. You don't let anything destroy your purpose. Again, let me remind you, God will give you a vision. How many of y'all got visions? But he don't give you the journey. He don't tell you the journey that's necessary to get to that vision. He don't show you what you got to go through. Because if you knew what you had to go through, I look at some of these starry-eyed women right now that's been married more than 20 years. If they knew what they had to go to get back to this starry-eyed, they'd have never got married the first time. Yeah, they love him, but Lord, you don't know what we've been through. Don't be saying amen out loud now. You don't know what we've been through, but we wanted to fulfill our purpose. Now they start out again, and that's a blessing. But it took something to get there. Purpose. Everybody say purpose. And interesting enough, brother and sister, God styled his relationship with the church after the family. Isn't that amazing? He styled it after the family, He styled it after the lifestyle of man. He styled his church in that way. So the enemy wants to frustrate you and bring the purpose. Watch this. Purpose gives meaning to our lives and adds power to our faith in times of discouragement. Purpose gives meaning to our lives and adds power to our faith in times of discouragement. And brothers, there's going to be times of discouragement. And see, that's the time you got to know what God said. You got to remember what God said. Faith coming by hearing and hearing of the word of the Lord, right? And what does every man live by? Every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God, right? Every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. So God speaks some things to you, right? And if you didn't have those things spoken to you, you would abort your purpose, except you're fueled. You're running off what God said. You're living and alive and full of